heated gloves out. It's we're in the middle of November, but it's going to be nice today. I think it might almost hit 70 degrees today later. Right now in the morning it's freaking cold. It's in the 40s and it's going to heat up. And I thought I would do the 3-year review of the LowRider S. I've had this bike, I think I took delivery of it in December of 2019. So we're coming on the 3-year review. It will be next month in December. And so I thought we'd start chatting about the 3-year review of the LowRider S. I've got 33,660 miles on it. So I've been riding a little bit. I'm still working 2 jobs, so it's hard to like get mega miles. I'm not a mega mile rider, but I got a few miles on it, enough for a decent review. Mechanically, it's sound. Now the engine on this bike is still stock. The only thing I've added to it is the check it out, she'll rip. I got the 2 Screaming Eagle fuel tuners. And I have the Cobra El Diablo 2-in-1 exhaust. And that's it. She's stock as she comes. As far as the engine goes. And for the way I ride, I like to do a lot of long trips. I don't need anything more than the 114. The stock cam is fine for how I ride. And everybody's different, so that's just me. Let's see, mechanically, in 3 years, has anything broken on this bike mechanically? And the answer to that is no. Nothing on this bike has failed mechanically. It has been on a trailer once. I got a flat tire. That's no fault of Harley-Davidson's. I rode the tire way beyond its wear marks and paid the piper for it. That's solely on me. And then recently I just had the belt break on my way out to the Kernville campout. Again, that's no fault of Harley-Davidson's. Rock got in there. When a rock gets in between your belt and your pulley, there's nothing you can do. The party's over. And I found some rocks lodged between the belt guard and the frame. And that got it on a tow truck. So that was my only 2 times I stopped riding. None of those times were the fault of the bike mechanically. After the belt broke, if you ever broke your belt on your bike on a trip, you're down. It's a huge job. The primary's got to come off. The inside primary has to come off to change your belt. It's a big job. So if you have a chain drive, you could change out a train on the side of the road, and we'll go up the road here and talk about it. So when my belt broke, I did replace it with the chain drive, and then I did have the bike. When I picked this LowRider up, I had it with the Heritage rear shock in. It's a taller shock than the stock shock that came with the LowRider S. And that shock, the Heritage shock, now comes on the 2022 LowRider S's. Flip up my visor. We're gonna come up here and chat about it. There's a nice view up here. I switched the Heritage shock out for a 13.5-inch Fox shock Roland Sands design is what I have in it now, which is a little bit nicer than the Heritage shock and 1 inch taller. We're gonna come up here and get some views, and we'll walk around the bike and check it out and chat about it. So that shock's a little bit nicer. The other thing on this bike when I first got it was the rear brake was always, it just felt really bad. So it got to the point it was so bad I was on a trip up in Zion, and I went out to Utah and I was doing all the parks. So I stopped by Zion Harley-Davidson and I had enough miles on the bike. It was time to flush the brake fluid anyways. So I got the brake fluid flush, just kind of like a maintenance type thing. Here, this is where I wanted to come to. I like it right here. Kind of like a maintenance type thing. Look at that view. And my back brake just works so good and perfect. It's insane how good it worked. And I think it probably just was mushy from the start. maybe the fluid, maybe the brake fluid was just not right out of the factory. Look, there she is. We'll continue this chat here with this gorgeous view on a perfect November Sunday. Man, oh man. Like I like to say, not too shabby. Continuing on the conversation, the bike's holding up fine. Switches, gauges, everything like that's been fine. Oh, I do suffer from foggy gauge-itis. I'll show you that. That's the only thing. I never did switch it out under warranty or anything. I just live with it. The Cobra exhaust, the rear part will fade out on you, and they told me just to go ahead and get it recoated. So at some point, if you ride a bunch, you might have to get the exhaust, just the tail section recoated. The heat shields are holding up fine. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Foggy gauge-itis. You can see where it's fogged, a little bit of the fog right here. Like right where you need to see. I think that's been a common issue on these Harley-Davidson gauges. And that's it. Other than that, thing rides killer. Forks, the front forks are holding up great. It's got the original Showa cartridges in it. Man, they work great. There you can see the chain drive on there now. From the old broken belt-itis. Again, not a fault of Harley-Davidson's or anything like that. I got a rock in it, broke the belt. And that's been it. It's just been... I'm not gonna lie, dude, you can cruise down the highway on this thing on long trips if there's no traffic, you know, you're out there in the boonies. I've cruised this thing at 100 miles an hour for hours and hours on time. Now, we'll talk about the tires. The scorchers that come with it are fine if, you know, they grip good, if you're just gonna use it for just, you know, regular driving. But if you're gonna be long hauling, you need different tires. And what I ended up with on this go round, I got a Metzler 888 in the front, and I have a Dunlop E4 in the back, which is actually made for metric bikes. These have 14,000 miles on them, and you can see at 14,000 miles, let me find a wear bar on the front tire right here. There's a wear bar on the front tire. You can see I'm not even close, and that's the Metzler 888. I put them both on at the same time. This is the Dunlop Elite 4. Again, it has a different profile. It's made for a metric motorcycle, but with the supply chain shortage, it's the only tire I could find in my size when I was looking to do tires. And you can see they had a hell of a time balancing that tire. Look at all the weights on it. And I think another thing too, the Dunlops are a pain in the ass to get on the rims. And let's see if I can find a wear bar in the middle of this guy. Not sure if that's where. Let's find one. I mean, we got a ton of tread on here. Ton of tread left. This is at 14,000. I think that's the wear bar way down in there still. Let me find my finger on the phone here. That's the wear bar way down inside the groove. Look at that. Long way to go. Super duper high mile tire. And if you're gonna do, like, I think this year alone, it's only November, I've done 14,500 miles this year while still working 2 jobs. So for me, that's really good. It probably won't ever get more than that for me, just because of my workload, until I retire from at least one of my jobs. But I'm still doing 2 jobs, so I work a lot. So that's pretty much it for the 3-year review. Would I buy this bike again? Absolutely. I have no desires of switching from this bike to another bike. It does everything I've intended it to do. A lot of people complain about my seat. Oh, your seat looks funky, man. Well, it's the BMC Corbin Widowmaker, but I had it built 2 inches back. And that's the one thing which is nice. And then I got the handlebars with the pullback. And for myself, I got really, really long arms. And the ergos are so perfect for me. I've ridden this bike, honestly, I think I did a 16-hour day on this bike more than once. And there's no neck pain. There's nothing going numb. You guys know what I'm talking about. My ass wasn't hurting. So yeah, this bike right here for me it's pretty damn near perfect for myself. And I use it for touring and other stuff. It's just been great. It's the Russ Werntham fairing on there is held up. The custom dynamics LEDs have held up. The FXR division saddlebags have held up. The seat's still killer. Yeah, everything's just it's been a good bike so far. Knock on wood. We'll see how this goes. But 3 years in, 33,660 miles. And I'm figuring out my tire combinations for long hauling. Other than that, I mean, I'm still running the stock air filter, everything. Plenty of engine for what I do. Plenty of engine for what I do. Still a fan of the El Diablo 2-in-1 exhaust. And that's it. Not much to it. 3 years in, loving it. I don't wash it much. I really don't take care of it like I probably should. I mean, I stay on the maintenance. I do the oils and my brake pads and things like that myself. But yeah, I stay on top of all that. Other than that, she's been a great bike. Super good.